Dialogue. Theater, films, books. Most storytelling mediums have dialogue. What makes it so special? Well, stories are typically about characters doing something, and often these characters do not exist alone, but rather they talk to each other. They argue, they have relationships and motivations. All this is conveyed through dialogue. The role of dialogue in video games being a storytelling medium, is thus also markedly important. But unlike watching a film or reading a book, the gaming experience is interactive, and so arises the need for interactive dialogue. However, the interactivity that video games can offer is limited. Computers cannot yet handle players inputting whatever text they want, even if that were desired. Compare the freedom of the tabletop role-playing game, basically one long conversation, to the freedom of the video role-playing game.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub.
they're profiting.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, or you can recover.
Detective, a word in private.
This is in no way bad, it can be dramatic, but it is limited in many ways. First, dialogue is expensive to make. Branching even more so. The more the dialogue branches, the higher the costs, with no visible benefit to the player. After all, they only see a single path through these branches. Structurally, dialogue is linear. The format dislikes tangents. Every tangent that goes off from a critical path starts the single choice and must return to it. There is no progress. Effectively, any cycle that exists in dialogue makes it feel less dramatic. Finally, the player is always in control. The call and response format does not allow for the computer to take initiative. And it has no way to do this.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment.
Look, why don't we just have them run the trial all over again so we can get everything
How come
straight?
you're the only one in this room wants to see exhibits all the
I
time?
want to see this one, too.
I'd like to stop wasting time.
We're going to start wading through all that nonsense about where the body was
We're
found.
not, unless somebody else wants to, but I'd like to find out if an old man who drags one foot when he walks, because he had a stroke last year, can get from his bedroom to his front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
He said 20 seconds. What are you trying to distort?
He said 15.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15 seconds. He was very positive about it.
He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
This was the problem I dealt with in my thesis. In essence, I made dialogue more ludic, more game-like. The first step was to separate the participants into two different agents, instead of having pseudo-agents like before. But how should these agents converse if every response was no longer strictly defined? We need to reorient ourselves. How should we do that? Well, when we're talking about conversations in real life... Wait, talk about? Yes, in conversations we talk about something. We have topics. Spatially, we can divide the function of topics into two. First, given that any conversation has several topics, we need to focus on one. Secondly, when we talk about a topic, we do not start at the top with the most important thing. Instead, we build up to it. We get deeper into the topic. This makes up the space that dialogue agents traverse. Now we just need to tie every line of dialogue to some location and some traversal. The rest is pattern recognition on the player's part. To prove the viability of this system, I made a demo project. Most people found it engaging, interactive, and all in all, very much okay. Don't take my or their word for it, try it out yourself.